Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to host today's webinar with Professor Angela Yan Chi Ho from National Chen Chi University in Taiwan. Professor Ho is professor of higher education. She served as executive director of higher education Evaluation and Accreditation Council of Taiwan from 2016 to 2021. Last year, she was elected as president of Chinese Taipei Comparative Education Society. She is very well known in Taiwan, in the region, and worldwide as a scholar on quality assurance practices. In her multiple capacities and roles as a leading scholar and practitioner in that field. She published in numerous influential journals in the field, as well as books and book chapters, and she'll probably tell us more about that aspect. She'll be speaking today about excellence initiatives and world-class universities movement in Taiwan. So without further ado, let me invite Professor Ho to make her presentation, and then we will have a chance to ask your questions and speak more about the whole excellence initiatives program in Taiwan. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you all of you. And also, this is really my honors to be the guest lecturer in this international webinar. And I'm very happy to share you the Taiwan experience and some of my observations in so-called excellent initiatives and the world-class universities and what happened in Taiwan over the past 20 years. Let me share use my PowerPoints right now. Now, could you all see my PowerPoint? Is it okay?
Not yet, but no.
Not
we
yet?
We tested it before, so it should work.
Okay, so could it be seen? Or no? Could it be seen right now? The PowerPoints could be seen? No.
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 Maybe you can set
wait.
On...
Okay, I know there's probably something wrong about that. Okay. Now it's done.
Now it's changing. Yes.
It's okay.
Now we can see it. Yep.
Now you can see it, right? Okay, good. So thank you so much for the invitations, and I'm very pleased to share the Taiwan story. So that the topics that I want to share with you is I want to see these two things. One is about the Taiwan AEI, excellent initiatives, and relationships between the world-class university syndrome. We could say it's a kind of syndromes in Taiwan. And then also will let you see how exactly is that the policy that the government funding will even allocate the resources through this kind of the initiative. So this is what I'm trying to share you about the policy shift before the 2016, what happened, and after the 2016, any kinds of the changes. And the most important thing is I want to share you my observation, the impact of this kind of the changes in Taiwan higher education and the further development. So before I started, I want to share you, if any one of you very interested in Taiwan higher education, me and the other two scholars from Taiwan, okay, Shan Program, and then also from National Taiwan University, Jiang Dongliang, three of us, we edited books that published in 2021. Mainly, we focus on the several issues, including the AEI and including the internationalization's policy and as well as autonomy, accountability, and etc. So I think this book could be one of the references if anyone of you want to know more about the Taiwan higher education system. And then the presentations today mainly from the article that I published, as I just told Anatoly, was launched this book, academics.org, added by Maria, Phil, and Jamie Sami. We started to work on this book 1.5 years ago, and luckily 2 days ago, it was finally released and launched. And there are more than 9 cases about the AEI and about the world-class university buildings. And most important thing is we try to discuss about the impact and also the government policy. So also welcome you to read this book or any cases I think probably interest you. So I make the one contributions to the Taiwanese case study in a book chapter. So this article that has been published in this book, I talk about that the funding scheme, the governance, and the policy shift. So the presentation, the information that I share you today based on the chapter that I published 2 days ago. Okay, so I mean, for those of you, I think I still have to share you a little bit about backgrounds about the Taiwan higher education. Taiwan higher ed was categorized by the different components. Seems that the Taiwan has been lured by Japanese government. So you could see, and then right after that, this whole system strongly influenced by American culture, American higher education system. But most important thing is because the Taiwan still have very strong root from the Chinese heritage and the culture. So you could see the Taiwan higher education has been, the formation of the Taiwan higher education. We could say that has been categorized by these three kinds of the influences, including the Japan, the America, as well as the Chinese. So under this kind of the scenario, you could see the Taiwan higher educations in comparison is quite dynamic because we learning a different kind of the culture and tries to integrate the best components in this kind of the system, and it tries to be more competitive globally. But if you look at the Taiwan higher ed, the expansion, like the other Asian nations, the higher education expanded rapidly, but that the period started from the 80s. Because at the time, the government hoped that they could provide some more learning opportunities for the student. And this is also kind of what we call the democratic movement, because the citizen, they hope that the government could actually, share, or even to give more resources for the learners, and also to invest more the educational resources in the whole system. So this is why it seems that the 80s, the higher education expanded very, very rapidly, and the number also increases rapidly. But the base on, because the government still have the limited resources, they cannot actually just set up the last of the public university. So at the time, you could see the government encouraged a lot of private sectors to upgrade into the 4 years university, and then also encourage the individuals and then private enterprises to establish the private higher education institution. So it seems that after the 80s, the number, it's probably is only from the 50, 40, and up to 100. So you could see right now, look at the number, in 2022, the total numbers of the institution in Taiwan is around 150, and then the student number is around 1 million, and with 45,000 teaching staff. Yeah, but if you look at that, the proportion, still the private university outnumber the public university, and currently that is around the 60% of the higher education institutions is private sectors in Taiwan. Yeah. So, moving to the 21st century, and I think most of the Asian countries are free of pressures for the global competitions. And the Taiwan, there is no election, the Taiwan actually is no exceptions. So you see the government still try to think about how exactly is that we could really enhance the quality of the higher education system, and then what kind of strategy, probably what approach is more appropriate for this system to enhance. On the one hand, we could have few probably several world-class university, but on the other hand, we still believe that the whole system, though, as I mentioned to you, we have, the larger proportions of private sectors. We hope that the quality of those private sectors, the quality still could be really ensured. So based on this kind of the two objectives, the government started to thinking about, okay, should we really launch so-called Action Initiative on the one hand? And on the other hand, the government still thinking about, okay, probably we should start to think about, should we have the quality assurance system to review all the institutions around the whole nation? So those are the two initiatives, and very, very clear initiatives have been launched and also supported by the government after the 2000. So you could see in the 2005, and the government started to launch so-called the World-Class University Initiative, 2005. And at the same year, the government also, under the University Act, the government also supports to establish so-called the National Accreditor. That is what I used to work for, Higher Education Evaluation Accreditation Council. So it means like the two track. On one hand, they hope that they could Taiwan system, okay, in order to compete with the other Asian nations or even other regions, and we could have several world-class universities, and in order to demonstrate the Taiwan capacity and also support the national economic growth. But on the other hand, the government still believe that we should have the system to really ensure each university, no matter who you are, you private, you work in the public, you research, you're teaching oriented, you should actually provide a good quality of education with the students. So under this kind of the scenario, you could see that university or even the academics were pressured to improve their quality of education in one hand, but on the other hand, the university also encouraged to improve their research portability and also their international competitiveness and international reputations through building themselves as a world-class university. So under these two, the scenario, first of all, applied the 2000, and that the whole system started to think about, should the government, that the whole system should be reformed. So before the 2000, in Taiwan, we had the so-called the 410 Educational Reform Alliance. Under this kind of line, they try to push the government. You see that the higher education in Taiwan, it would want to be more globally competitive. The government should deregulate. So this is the one, directions that the government has been pressured to do so. And on the other hand, government also been pressured to think about how exactly is that we could really develop a few world-class universities. So under this commissions, what we call the Higher Education Macro Planning Commissions in the 2003, and they just launched a proposal over the selections and the concentration policy for some selected university. So since based on these two, we could say the initiative, and then also the rationale that the government in 2005 they adopt so-called the selection and concentration policy, and then to support the few selected university, definitely research university, and then allocate a lot of the resources, and then also give them more academic freedoms and etc. And then I hope that they could really build themselves as a world class within a certain period of time. And then also at the same time, those universities, if you are selected by AEI, you also have obligations to recruit more international students and provide the English top programs and etc. So that is the situation and the context at the time in the earlier of the 21st century. So based on, that is about the background. So now the government has been pressure, and then also pressure internally, okay, that within the Taiwan's islands inside and also globally, and the government definitely, okay, at the time around the 2000, 2005, they started to launch so-called Action Initiative, but there are the first two phases, from 2005 to 2010, this is the first phase. And the second phase range from 2011 to 2016. And these two phases, just under the supervisions of the KMT, it means the former Ma administrations. So the Ma administrations, they just adopt the policy of so-called election and concentrations, and suggested by that commission, a higher education macro plan commission, based on their proposal and a suggestion. So the government just launched the very, very first phase of the academics excellence initiative. And at the time, you could see in these two phases, in general, the government launched three types of the excellence initiatives. The first type, definitely, we look at the title, the developmental plans for world-class university and research center. So it's a very, very research focus. At the same time, the government also launched another kind of initiative. We also call it the excellence initiative, teaching excellence. So for those who, if you could not be selected in this initiative, and then you could apply the teaching excellence initiative. But however, still, in Taiwan, we have the two tracks of the education. One is the general, the other is the vocational. So the University of the Technology, they still believe that, okay, why not? We are not included. So in the second phase, you see those are the first phase, right? First phase, the government launched the two kinds of the excellence initiative. One is for research, mainly target on the research output and portability. And the other one mainly focus on the teaching quality. So it means that you should really focus on the quality of education and the student learning outcome and etc. to demonstrate, okay, you could provide a good quality of education with the student. This is the first phase. But moving to the second phase, the University of Technology, they argue that why? Okay, we still need to be supported. We still could be very, very excellent. Okay, and it becomes a world-class university. So in the second phase, the government launched another additional initiative, particularly for university technologies only. So you could see in the first two phases in Taiwan, when we're talking about the excellence initiative, there are three types. One is for research, second is for teaching, and the third for the groups of the universities of the technology. And the objective is, but no matter which phases or which kind of the AEI, excellence initiative, the government all requested the university to re-identify your status and then to think about your characteristics. And based on your future and the characteristics that, and then you could really promote yourself, okay, better and better. And then also the other goal that for the three different kinds of the initiative, the other goal is the government expect that based on these different kinds of the thematic, direction, and then I hope that the Taiwan higher education system, classification system could be established. Yeah. And I hope that which type university probably belongs to research type or belongs to the teaching type or belongs to the vocational type. I hope that under the AEI and this kind of the classification system like US, okay, could be established. But that is the other goal that the government hope that through the AEI, they could be really achieved. So if they talk about what we're reviewing the first two phases, you can see all the university in the first two phases, they are all equally encouraged to research, to apply for the research initiative. Okay, why? The reason is the political pressure at the time, because if you are not allowed to do that, it means that we are not research. Okay, so the government, you see that, okay, you all could apply for, we don't really enforce you to apply the different kinds of initiative, but we set some criteria for the university. You want to apply for research type or the teaching type or the vocational types, you should fulfill the different kind of criteria. For example, if you really want to apply for the research initiative, okay, the basic requirements for applicant is your per students that the expenditure is supposed to be more than 10,000 US dollars per students. Yeah, and then also the university, the public university also, if you want to apply for research AEI, you also have to commit yourself, say that you want to transform yourself legal status into a corporate, and then restructure your organization system. And then most important thing is you have to develop your institutional strategy based on the funding received. And I hope that those public university, because the government only could ask the public university to do so, that as soon as they receive the fundings from the research AI, and then you have to promise you will incorporate yourself into the new organizations, and then also promise them it's possible that the governments probably will merge you together. So that is under the situation, particularly for the public university. Yeah. So though all the university equally be encouraged that, yeah, you could apply for the research AEI, though maybe you are not so qualified and not so globally competitive, but that the government set, the some of the basic requirement for those applicants. So this is about the structures for AEI, the funding, and then also how exactly is that being reviewed. First of all, the AEI is under totally supervisions by the Ministry of Education, but the Ministry of Education categorized into the two tracks. This track is develop the standards and the criteria to review the AEI outcome accountability, and another track is to review exactly their performances, and even they have the project implementations office to review those universities. The twice per year to see how exactly they really use their funding, and how exactly is that the output they has is the output they already perform under this kind of the funding. So basically, this is about the first two phases. But after the 2016, you see that we have the new administrations, the new government. And so the policy shift, completely from the very, very elitism, and then to moving to the search of the egalitarianism. So it means that the governments won't just focus on the research outputs only. They hope that in the new phase that the university, including the top research university, you should pay your attention to your social responsibility. And under this kind of the scenario, also the government hope that the fundings could be equally distributed by all 150 universities around the island. So it means that equity and accessibility becomes the key allocation funding criteria under the third phase of the AEI. So the objective, you could see a little bit difference from the previous the two phases, just build several world-class university, and also the top-ranked programs and the fields. But you look at the surface, the focus is a little bit different. They focus on the new the talents at all levels, and also focus on the local community engagement. And then all that under this kind of the new initiatives, the government hope that they could try a balance between over the past two phases, and then the government have been criticized that they put a lot of the resources, most of the resources, on some selected university, and they pay too much attention to research, and teaching quality has been sacrificed. So this why it means moving to the third phase of the AEI, the government tries to balance both two, the teaching quality as well as the research output. So I want to share you probably is more clearly to see what happened, right? Based on the historical development, and then government policy shift, they could see those are the changes, and also the different types and also the funding, also the numbers of the applicants finally awarded. So you could see this is the 3 phases, the first phase and the second phase. I mean, similarly under the formal government. So the philosophy for the AEI is to, the philosophy for AEI funding allocation is selection and concentration. It means the best. Only the best will be funded, will be awarded. So you could see, but however, the types, there are 3 types. Basically, the government tries to encourage, that's why I mentioned to you that they want to use the AEI to classify the Taiwan higher education system. They hope that we have the very type of the higher education institutions that are going to the same directions, and also the funding. But you could see the funding quite vary. Research university get larger proportions, right? And though in the second phase, the government aid so-called industry paradigm, industry model, right? But still, you see the money they awarded as not much. And the number also a difference. If you look at the research types, 2 phases around 12, and teaching types around 30, and industry types around 12. And if you look at the phase 3, now we have the new name. We do not call it the excellence. We cannot use the excellence anymore because everyone is excellent. Okay, so it should be equal. So we change another name. We use a new name. This is a higher education Sprout project. And there are still 3 different types. One type mainly focused on the teaching innovation. So under this type, all universities will be funded. So you can see in first time, 154 university funded. But the second type, only for selected university. So 4 universities were awarded. You could see these 4, Taiwan National University, Cheng Kung University, and then Jiao Tong Yangming University and Tsinghua University. So, difference from the previous 2 phases, 12 research universities selected, and the new phase, only 4 research universities were awarded in higher education Sprout project. But most important thing is the government added another track that is so-called university social responsibility. It means all the university, if you mainly focus on, if you have the good initiatives to implement your community engagements, your social responsibility, and you all could apply this track. So you could see 92 institutions has been awarded under this one. So based on the number, you could see the funding allocated tries to allocate it equally, that every university happy. Okay, and one of the philosophy behind this, I mean, the government believed that no matter the student, no matter which university they study, they should share the same educational resources. Yeah, so that is the philosophy behind that. And totally, if you look at the surface, this is the number. This is the total budget that the government allocated. But however, you could see that the government policy shift from elitism to the egalitarianism. Okay, moving from the phase 1 and 2 and to the phase 3. But however, there's still then I want to show you what happened over the from the 2006 to 2016, over the past 10 years. Which university got more funding. Definitely you could see the National Taiwan University get more funding, right, over the within this 10 years. And the second, the Cheng Kung University and the Tsinghua University and the Jiao Tong University. So you could see these 2 universities continuously to be selected by the government in the surface. Okay, and then the other university, of course, they cannot get as much as they expect. And this is one university, National Chengchi University. We are the only one university totally based on the social sciences. So you could see still some of the imbalance between this kind of the funding allocation philosophy. Most of the university, they mainly technology, medical oriented, but just one university actually that get funding more from the government. This is my university. And in order to, still a lot of the criticisms and complaints from the research university, and they worry that under this kind of the new scheme, and we are going to lose our international competitiveness, right? Okay, because the larger proportions of the funding has been moved to the other more than 100 institutions, and then they worry about that will really have the very, very great impact on their competitiveness. So the government in the 2018-19, they launched another project, and this project is only for the selected research university, what we call the Yushan project. So it means that this research, only the research university, this 4 and 10 research university, they were able to apply this project. And the government actually support those top research university to attract the top international scholar abroad, and by providing the researchers some more competitive, more additional salary. But in comparison, still not much. But the research universities, they could actually apply this funding in order to attract the global talents to teach at the university. So you could see over the past 3 years, as a matter of fact, not many global scholar has been attracted by the Taiwan Research University or Research University, and you could see only 50 in Yushan scholar, and then around 121st young scholars recruited by certain universities only. And you could see the field. Most of the scholar recruited are in the engineering as well as the science, and social science and humanities, still not many has been attracted by the research university. So though the government launched the complementary programs for research universities in order to compensate some losses, financial loss, but however, it seems that that the influences is not that as what we expect. So now I'm trying to share you, okay, over the past 20 years, almost 20 years, and then undergoing the 3 phases, what happened. So, I mean, this is what exactly that we try to really concern about. You could see overall, okay, that there is a increase the research output in the first 2 phases, but slightly dropped after the surface. If they look at the national Taiwan universities, for example, that is what actually that got. I just choose one of the NTU rankings. In the 2017, NTU's rankings 185. And after that, you know, the first phase and then the second phase, you see that the Taiwan National University's rankings up to, within the 100s. But after the 2016, it started to drop. And now, this year, okay, even the situation is more worse. Yeah, so up that the rank drops to 151. So you could see that this kind of shift indeed make a great impact on some selected research university. And if you look at the total publications, those are the 4 nations, but you could just look at the Taiwan. The number seems to 2016, and then started to drop in 2017 and in 2018. This is the total paper published in SCI and SSSCI. And this is Nature and Science. Also, you can see that, I mean, the 2005, we have more than 35, and it started to drop 2017 and 2018. So you can see, indeed, the policy shift really impact the overall academic and the research output on Taiwan higher education system. But there's still some positive. Those are the negative, of course, the situations indeed occur. But if you look at the first 2 AEI initiative, you can see still bring some positive impacts over the Taiwan education system, particularly the teaching and vocational AEI. They facilitate the university to focus on their teaching, and then also develop their learning infrastructure system, and then tries to encourage them to cooperate with the industry. Mainly, I mean, based on the first two phases, even in the third phase, university continue to do so. So you could see nowadays, most of the university in Taiwan, they all have the professional centers for faculty development, and then it tries to revise the reward system and mainly focus on the teaching quality and the student learning outcome, and then develops a very well system for the graduate student tracking, and to engage the employers into the curriculum committee and etc. So those are the positive things for the university. Through the AEI initiative, and universities tries to make some reform and then think about their curriculum and tries to develop a partnership with the industry and other stakeholders. Yeah. And but still, another thing is that we observe in the first two system, first to the AEI, or even in the third AEI, though the government tries to encourage the university to identify your futures, and then based on your future and characteristics, okay, through the different kind of AEI, and then how the systems could be more diverse. But however, the situation is, though the government had the three kinds of the AEI, but all the university, including the teaching type and also the vocational type, they don't pay a lot of attention to the research. And so you could see that kind of the syndrome, because the pursuit of the world-class university syndrome indeed, okay, result in the institutional isoformalism in higher education system. So you could see, in addition to like the National Taiwan University, Tsinghua University, those top, okay, traditional research university, other private university, you see the China Medical University, or even the Chinese Taipei University of Technology, this is a vocational track, and this is a private university. They all set the goal, okay, pursue the academic excellence and the building themselves into the world-class university, and also expect that the universities will moving into the top 500, etc. So it means they, like the research university, they have the same goal, that they want to pursue the global rankings and their status. So that is about what exactly is that we learned from that. And but on the other side, you also could see that the research university have the different orientations. Okay, the other type, private university and the University of Technology, they pursue themselves as a world-class university, right? But on the other hand, the top research universities, so that they pay more attention to their social impact. So they pay more attention to SDGs, and they publish the sustainability report and etc. So it's very interesting to see these two tracks, though the government hope that through the different kind of AEI, and then the universities could really develop their own future and characteristics, and then make the whole system more diverse and more dynamics. But the situations are very, very interesting. Now we find that. But it's good to see research university in Taiwan, though on one hand, they still pursue the academic excellence, but on the other hand, they pay more attention to their social responsibility and engage the local community. And also expect that they could make more great contributions for a sustainable society in Taiwan as well as globally. So you can see so far, 46 Taiwan universities are ranked in the THE ranking, impact ranking, not a gold ranking, okay, sustainability ranking. Yeah, so finally, I think, okay, I want to share you my observations. That is, Taiwan's case probably could show that the nation state still playing a very, very dominating role in AEI. We still observing what will happen next year because we're going to have national elections. If we have the new government, and probably that the situations will be different than what exactly now we have. So how exactly that we could have the stable policy, and then to implement this policy successful still is one of the issues within the Taiwan. And also if we reviewing the impact of Taiwan's AEI over the past 20 years and the 3 types of the AEI, or even a policy shift, we still could see that if the university doesn't have the clear visions and do not know what your futures are, and the governance or even resources are not sufficient. And now still more and more universities in Taiwan, particularly from the private sectors, they are facing the under enrollment students situation, the crisis. So that's probably is still another crisis for Taiwan higher educations. And so for my observation, it means that if the university really in Taiwan really want to transform themselves into the world-class university, funding probably is one of the key components, but you should have very clear visions, and you still have to pay attention to your social responsibility and governance still. I mean, it's the key way to build yourself as a world-class university. So those are, based on actually after writing these book chapters, I have some reflections. Well, okay, Taiwan so far still have the world-class universities based on those now the evidence, and then how come that the Taiwan higher educations could be more competitive in the future? What kind of the AEI we should have? Yeah. And now the policy shift always. So do we really waste the educational resources? Yeah. And what would be the next 20 years? I don't know. Okay, probably you have some answer for me. Okay, those are the resources that actually I use, and then I'm very happy to share you all of them. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Angela. That's a thought-provoking presentation. And I look forward to receiving questions, maybe in person. Feel free to raise your hand, and I'll invite you to ask question or make a comment. Meanwhile, can I ask you a question?
Oh, yeah.
Just like, because we are comparative and international education scholars, and I did research on Taiwan in collaboration with my colleague Shan Chan, and at the same time, when I look into the post-Soviet transformations and pursuit of world-class university status or change in higher education, I can see the major outcome in this process over the past 20 years, maybe less, maybe than 20 years, being resentment. I mean, resentment, right? It's kind of jealousy and resentment, because the government's paying money to several universities which are excellent and probably need money. We can see that National Taiwan University improves ranks when it receives privileged funds. But then when the equity comes in, and the money are spread across a larger number of universities, we can see that the ranks of National Taiwan University suddenly deteriorate, or they so that resentment issue, how significant was this effect of resentment in Taiwanese politics in higher education?
How to say that? Actually, I from my observations, there's always tensions between those who have and those who do not have. Honestly speaking, that is inequality issues. not just in the whole society. Why? Okay, only this group of the university, or only this groups of the sectors, they could have so many resources. Why I could not have? So we couldn't say the resentment probably is a kind of the tensions between the different groups of the universe, different groups of the sector, or even within the whole society, and the gap between those who have and those who do not have actually is widening over the past 20 years, through particular in the first phase and the second phase AEI. Because if you look at the number, okay, the first phase and second phase probably is only around 1/3 of university, will probably less than 1/3 of university would be able to get more resources from the governments, or even from the whole society. So you could see the gap started to getting larger and larger. So and then also, well, another issue is for those, particular for those public university, and then they get more funding, and then they have the more resources, and then recruit the good quality of the students, right? Okay, and that the students all from, we couldn't say the high income, but at least the middle income, about the the middle income, even the high income family, and then they pay less. Okay, and they look at those do not have, and then even they do not receive. The surface, okay, equally they all have some, but if they look at the first two phases, those who do not have, it means they did not get sufficient funding from the government or resources from the whole society, and even recruit the low-end students, and those students pay more, pay 3 doubles than those students study in the public university. So that is, I could have resentment. I don't want to say that, but I would really want to see that the young generation indeed, they do not expect that the situation keep going on. So this is why politics should respond to this kind of the concern. And then if they look at now our presidential elections, right? Okay, and the different party, they all tries to offer some solutions, and then one hope that this kind of the gap, the inequality could be resolved. But I do not think that it could be resolved easily. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I can see Hugo's
hi.
Hugo.
Hello.
Hi, Angela. Hi.
Hi, it's good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'm a bit short on time. I have to get the shuttle, but I really needed to ask you this question.
Yeah.
In many places, in many scholars, there is an increasing advocacy for kind of ending these targeted funding, research funding schemes for specific universities, and even ending these performance research fundings. Basically, there's a lot of cost involved, and always the same ones tend to get the funding. And other kind of ways to allocate the money have been discussed. And I wanted to get your opinion about that, because one of the ways that they are, there's either the argument to go back to the old times, where basically we would share almost equally among everybody, and so that everybody would have the resources to do research. And the other option is the lottery. I wanted to hear your opinions about it, and how this might impact the development of Taiwanese research capability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Hugo, thank you for your concern, and also what exactly is observed from my own system. But I think I want to share my observations from 2 ways. The first way is AEI. AEI, okay, mainly funded by launched by the Ministry of Education. Okay, so under the administrations, and that will expect the Ministry of Education, okay, to allocate the funding equally, particular within this 8 years, right? The new we couldn't say not new anymore. Okay, the DPP administration. But as to the research funding, we have another office, what we call the National National Technology Science and Technology Council. They allocate that the funding individually for each researchers. It means like me or each one of the researchers from the different, no matter you are from a public university, private university, or whatever, you all could apply for. So based on that kind of the, in this kind of the, like the US NSC, National Science, okay, and Technology Council, they still reviews your research capacity and then your potentials, and then, okay, all your performances before, in order to see if you could get the funding or not. So I mean, they could be, in this issue, they could be separated into the two things. One thing is the government hope that the university, through the AEI, won't just mainly focus on research. You could pay more attention to like your social responsibility now, SDGs, right? Okay, and then engage the community and the outreach to the global society and partner with other university, and to mainly, okay, focus on the student learning outcome and the employability through the Ministry of Education's AEI's initiative. But through the National Science Foundation Council, okay, they still evaluate each individuals. Even still, they will see if you from like the research university, definitely you have more capacity to implement the research project, and then they will invest you more than the other individual researchers or even the scholars from private university. So that is now the situation that I observe. So I mean that the government tries to still, I mean, right now they hope that a balance could be taken care, right? In one way, the whole school, they hope they still be that the whole university, teaching and the students, yeah, should be the focus. But on the other government unit, the mainly focus on research is still will review, will actually review your capacity and then your performances and what you have done before, and in order to invest you to see if you worthwhile getting so much money, okay, to carry out the research. Yeah, so that is, so this one I could say that in that track, the professors at the top research university are more competitive. That's true. So if you're reviewing those, all the proposal, all the grant, actually, each university grants from the National Science Foundations, selecting university, okay, in total, okay, if they counting, you calculate each individual's proposal and also the grant that they get, selecting university has more, far more, okay, than those private sectors, yeah. Thank you.
Great. Okay. I don't see any questions at the moment. Feel free to raise your hand. Can I ask you, Angela, about geopolitics? We know that I mean, I know this is a very kind of tough, difficult question to handle, but at the same time, we often refer to the discourse in which we lived, some 10 years ago, right? Global competition and trade and so on. And we also expected that talent attraction was this continuous, this trajectory which would continue and so on. But now in the current situation, I mean, with the geopolitics really becoming kind of not so promising, I mean, at the same time. So do you find it? Do you find these policies of excellence being really affected in the currently or in the coming years?
It means the AEI. It means the AEI will be affected by the geopolitical.
Like, just excellence in terms of geopolitics coming with the with the new pressures and maybe concerns about talent, not only attraction but retention, maybe. Like, you know, how many scholars may want to stay and work
Yeah.
in the region? And
Actually, I published one of the paper with my colleagues, Andy Fuse in Taiwan. Probably you all know him. We published the papers, try to review what happened about the talent fraud, okay, brain drain or brain game in Taiwan over the past 20 years. We found out that around the 2016, it means that you could see that the talent game, it means still, the Taiwan still have certain kinds of attractions to attract those global talents going back. We could say that the global talents doesn't mean the foreigners, like, okay, exactly the foreigner, they are Taiwanese and then they study abroad and then finally they will be willing to going back. So before the 2016, 2015, we see the trend still not bad because we still have certain kinds of attractions. But after 2016, or even up to now, the Taiwan, that the data shows that the Taiwan now already lost a lot of the brands. Maybe, you know, prestigious scholars from the top research university, they have chose to go to the other university in a different context in Asia. So that the data shows us that now the Taiwan still, facing a very, very serious challenges. On the one hand, we do not think we could retain. How can we have the capacity to really retain those who are very prestigious? The answer is no. Yeah, because the data already showed us. Okay, those talented has been recruited. They go to mainland China mainly, go to Singapore, Hong Kong still as well. And then, though the government, they launched so-called the Yushan initiative, that's what I told you, right, in order to compensate and also to hope that could give that the selected universities more resources in order to attract those talents. But you see that the outcome is not really good. And then even the government, this is what I actually observed, and also some document shows that the projects probably will close soon. Yeah, because we cannot really attract the best coming to Taiwan. And even because under this kind of projects, the government only promised 5 years funding to those being attracted or even recruited by the university. After the 5 years, then the government said that university have to take care additional salary, okay, that the university promised to. So I do not think that the policy quite successful. And then one hand, though we, under the geopolitical tensions or even some factor, external, internal, then we do not think that we could retain our original strength. And then on the other hand, we could not really attract the new blood into the Taiwan. So for my observations, the new government, the next year, they have to deal with this issue immediately. But otherwise, okay, gradually, without talent, okay, Taiwan, nothing, right? That is what we could have. That is what we grow over the past 40 or 50 years. So the talent, that means the only things that we could depend on. Okay, if we want to continue to support the higher education developments and want to be more international, competitive, and that is the only way that government have to think of. Yeah, and then also one thing that they have to think about how to, deal with that cross-strait relationship, because that thing is also very significant. Okay, will make some impact in the system development. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Angela. This was a really fascinating presentation and discussion. So we look forward to seeing you in Hong Kong in the near future.
Okay.
At the same time, many thanks to you for continuing doing this insightful research. The Taiwanese context is really very interesting, very dynamic. And we wish you and other scholars to find a good balance between excellence in science and equity in
Okay.
developing this kind of very interesting, impactful initiatives. So thanks everyone for participation.